The term believe in yourself is by far one of the worst phrases that I've ever heard. And the worst part is that this term gets tossed around all the time by these so-called self-help influencers.
Believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself.
Now you're probably thinking, I just clicked on a video about believing in yourself. Why is he so mad about it? But the truth is that I have a huge problem with this phrase. It feels so grand, so large, but yet people are just constantly telling you to just do it. But people don't realize that although it's easy to say, to actually do it, to actually believe in yourself, feels impossible. Because being special and feeling special are two very different things. It's easy to be special because everyone is. I believe that everyone has their own unique skills and abilities that makes them truly special. But feeling special is another hurdle entirely. One that feels so impossible. So why the hell do we say believe in yourself so often, as if we're waving a magic wand and everything is just magically fixed? Why do we say such grandiose terms so easily and expect everyone to just easily follow this goal? Because when you say believe in yourself, you're actually just saying, get to the goal. And I hate that. That's like saying you want to go to Japan and the only advice that your friend gives you is, just go to Japan. There's so much more that goes into planning a trip to Japan, such as cost, lodging, plane tickets, all of that. And there's so much more that goes into believing in yourself than just saying, do it. So for once, let's start not at the goal, but at the steps. Because believing in yourself can feel impossible. But taking the first step to doing that isn't. And my first step in finally taking on this journey to believe in myself is watching the Kung Fu Panda movies. The first time I had ever watched Kung Fu Panda, I didn't like it.
Oh, no!
Throughout the first film, Po was chosen to be the next dragon warrior by what seemed to be an accident. From there, he has an immense pressure to become the dragon warrior, this mythical hero that clearly no one, even Master Shifu, doesn't know anything about.
You will feel the universe in motion around you.
Wow! Can I punch through walls?
So how can Po just magically become this great warrior if there are absolutely no guidelines? The idea of the so-called dragon warrior throughout the movie feels like a larger-than-life goal, even larger than Po. And it felt like a goal that wasn't attainable. Just like the phrase believe in yourself being impossible, the phrase
Become the dragon warrior
had a similar impact. And everyone constantly told Po to do just that, get to the goal. Even the main villain Tai Lung had become corrupted with the promise of becoming the dragon warrior because he thought he could achieve it. Miraculously, by the end of the film, Po finally realizes that his power and strength hidden within himself was the secret ingredient to get him to become the dragon warrior and defeat Tai Lung. This is echoed by the Dragon Scroll, containing nothing but a reflection of yourself. All he had to do was just believe in himself. Po's journey to become the dragon warrior felt like he had accomplished a huge feat in just 92 minutes. He believed in himself, and all of his problems were solved almost instantly, and that infuriated me. How could he accomplish this in such a small time span when I've been struggling with this for my entire life? So when Kung Fu Panda 2 came out, I reluctantly watched it in theaters and expected a larger-than-life goal. And you know what goal they introduced? They introduced the goal of find inner peace.
Every master must find his path to inner peace.
Find inner peace? Are you kidding me? What the? Even Po, who was struggling with the fact that he was adopted and that his parents were murdered, was able to find inner peace and defeat Shen, who was responsible for murdering his own parents. Okay, let's be real. If this goal of believe in yourself and the goal of become the dragon warrior felt impossible, then how the hell is find inner peace supposed to feel? It feels even more impossibler than the rest. And Po accomplishes this in 90 minutes? 2 minutes less than the first film? What? He even learned about the term inner peace earlier in the film. And then just by the end, he just does it? What are you talking about? How could he just find inner peace in such a small time span when I've been struggling with this for my entire life? So when Kung Fu Panda 3 came out, I took one search at the runtime. 95 minutes. 95 minutes for Po to get introduced to a new concept and then just achieve it by the end of the film? With that in mind, I didn't watch it. I couldn't torture myself by watching another movie where it feels so easy for the main character to achieve his goals, but yet it feels so impossible for me to achieve mine. Not watching Kung Fu Panda 3 until this year was by far one of the worst decisions that I've ever made. Finally watching the movie this year changed my entire perception on the series and changed my entire belief on believing in yourself. All because of Po's new goal, the goal of becoming a teacher.
What?
Po struggles with this idea. Just like in other movies, he initially doesn't believe he can do it. He doesn't believe that he can be as great of a master as Shifu. But Shifu dispenses his latest wisdom as he tells Po,
I'm not trying to turn you into me. I'm trying to turn you into you.
This was the final piece, the message that I had been overlooking when it came to the Kung Fu Panda series. In fact, as Po begins successfully teaching the surviving pandas how to use their own strengths to master Kung Fu, I started to feel like the goal of believing in yourself was achievable for the first time. And the reason why it felt like it was achievable, the reason why it felt like I could make steps towards this impossible goal, is a theory known as self-efficacy. In 1997, Canadian-American psychologist Albert Bandura coined the phrase self-efficacy. This theory can be defined as a person's belief that they are capable to successfully perform a particular task or reach specific goals. In a sense, it's the foundational building block of believing in yourself. And the best part is that it has its own building blocks as well. There are 4 pillars that define self-efficacy. The first pillar is mastery experiences, or experiencing success. In order to believe that we are capable of achieving a particular goal or performing a specific task, we need to feel success from another goal or task. This conditions us to think that we are capable of great achievement because we've achieved something else. For example, after Po experiences numerous failures when learning Kung Fu, Shifu uses food as a motivator in order to get Po to learn. This provides a huge success as Po becomes confident in his ability to learn Kung Fu, even tossing back the food to Shifu because he no longer needed it to motivate him, all because he finally experienced success. The second pillar is known as social modeling, or rather, seeing other people succeed. By surrounding ourselves with other successful people and people who are successful in the things that we're trying to do, we can understand that success is within our reach. And it's not impossible, because it was possible for someone else. For example, Po is surrounded by the Furious Five, the group all training to become Kung Fu masters themselves. Together, as a team, they find success in fighting the villains and learning Kung Fu from Master Shifu. Po continues to be surrounded by those who find their own successes, which allows him to achieve his own success. The third pillar is known as social persuasion, or receiving encouragement from others. It's extremely difficult to go through the process of achieving a goal by yourself. Whenever things feel daunting or impossible, having someone in your corner to both encourage and root for you makes all the difference. It can make the most impossible goals feel possible. For example, from Po's adoring fans to being surrounded by his fellow pandas, Po receives numerous amounts of encouragement to keep going and to be himself. The final pillar is managing our own psychological responses and our negative emotions. Our mood, stress levels, and those persistent negative thoughts that enter our head directly affect our self-efficacy. But being able to manage, measure, and dismiss these negative thoughts prevents them from negatively affecting our self-efficacy and allows us to achieve our goals. For example, as Po finally makes a step towards inner peace, he discovers that he is able to move past his negative emotions, redirecting them away from himself and successfully defeating Shen. Together with all 4 pillars of self-efficacy satisfied, Po can make steps towards achieving his goals and become a version of himself that believes in himself and his abilities. All it took for Po to make steps towards believing in himself was to embody self-efficacy and to actually take the first step towards his goal. And the first step in believing in yourself is believing that you can believe in yourself. This is what Kung Fu Panda 3 opened my eyes to, and it showed me that believing in yourself is actually achievable. When you take a goal and actually believe in your unique and special capabilities to be successful, it primes you to achieve these goals. So now the steps towards the goal of believing in yourself is to focus on having high self-efficacy. We need to wholly embody self-efficacy, and we need to achieve all 4 pillars on the path to becoming the best versions of ourselves. We need to... Wait. Oh no. Now I'm doing it. I started saying believe in yourself, but instead of that, I'm saying have high self-efficacy. I'm becoming what I hate the most, a self-help influencer. I can't let this happen. I can't be another one of those people that just takes what you probably already know and packages it in my own words. I need to be different. So why is this happening? How come when we take a bigger and larger than life goal and break it down into smaller, more possible steps, that those steps also feel impossible too? Just like when I broke down believe in yourself into how high self-efficacy, and then have high self-efficacy broken down into those 4 pillars, they kind of feel impossible too. There's got to be an explanation. You know what the reason is? The reason why these goals feel so daunting is the expectations that we put on ourselves. Throughout the video, I've been upset that Poe achieves his goals in less than 2 hours for every film. Every time feels like it's just way too fast.
I think I mastered Chi.
Oh, of course you did.
But if I'm expecting to solve all my problems in under 2 hours, then I'm setting myself up for failure. Because we often overestimate what we can do in 2 hours or 2 days, but we often underestimate what we can do in 2 years or even our entire life. If we overestimate our goals, we're always going to set ourselves up for failure. And then we're always going to feel like a failure. We're going to feel like we don't believe in ourselves. And we'll never achieve the first pillar of self-efficacy, which is to experience success. In fact, we won't even achieve any of the other pillars because we'll be too scared to even try. And if Poe never bothered to try, if he never learned Kung Fu, then DreamWorks wouldn't have made so much money that resulted in the release of Kung Fu Panda 4, which taught me that Poe's journey, as well as our own, doesn't stop with just 6 hours. Or however long Poe's actual journey is, because there's a TV shows and other things like that. I don't know, I didn't watch them all. But there's always growth to be made. Believing in yourself is a lifelong journey, and having high self-efficacy isn't something that you could just wave a magic wand and just have. And the best part is that's okay, because this hyper-productive, never making mistakes persona isn't possible. The truth is, we falter from time to time. We don't always experience success. Sometimes we experience failure, and those failures can leave us scarred. Sometimes we don't have people that surround us or encourage us when we're trying to achieve our goals. Sometimes we aren't able to manage our negative emotions, and we succumb to these emotions which prevent us from making any steps towards our daunting goals or towards the impossible feat of believing in ourselves. But Kung Fu Panda has taught me that goals can feel daunting because they focus on the many things you should be doing instead of focusing on the things that you already are doing. We all have our own strengths and skills that make us uniquely special, and we aren't born to be some mythical warrior or some legend. We're born to be ourselves. Poe wasn't the perfect idea of this mythical dragon warrior, but over time, he believed he could be. We need to believe in our own capabilities in making steps towards our goal. And when we finally make those steps, they don't have to be huge ones that tire you out all the time, but they can be even the smallest thing, like getting up for the day and just making noodles. That's how we start believing in ourselves. That's how we experience success. And Poe constantly reminds us that the biggest moves you make and the greatest steps we take can be as simple as raising your pinky and saying,
Skadoosh.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and I really hope you enjoyed it. Kung Fu Panda 4 comes out March 8th this year. This is not an ad. I don't know why I'm saying this, but I will say that I don't plan on making another video about Kung Fu Panda, but on my Patreon, I'm going to release a video just about my thoughts, really casual, on the movie and what it meant to me. So you can find it there and support me there. Otherwise, my next video should be about Abbott Elementary, so if you are a fan of that show, stay tuned for that video. Otherwise, thank you all so much for watching, and if you haven't watched any of my other videos, they're going to be listed on the screen for you here. Thank you all so much, and I hope you have a great day.